Hi, I'm Linda Mae, and I'm a reader here at Crystal Magic Psychic Center in Sedona, Arizona, this beautiful place. And I'm here today to talk to you about the full moon period that we are beginning in the late morning on Sunday, September 7th at 11:09 a.m. And that's Pacific Daylight Savings Time still, so you can adjust your times accordingly. For example, on the East Coast, it would be on September 7th at 2:09 p.m. in the afternoon. So just adjust your times accordingly to see when it's exact. And do know that this particular full moon is known as the corn moon, and it's sometimes called the blood corn moon because this full moon will be seen as a haunting red color. The corn moon is symbolic of the time to gather the final harvests of summer, and it's a gentle, grounding full moon that encourages you to slow down, express gratitude, and reconnect with your body and your own inner truth. Traditionally named by Native American tribes, it's a symbol of abundance and the culmination of hard work, and it invites us to celebrate the fruits of our labor. This is also known as the harvest moon. Usually it's known as the harvest moon because it's a little earlier. It's the corn harvest moon, which links it to the autumn equinox, and that's a time of extra light for farmers to tend to their crops in the evening. And it's also known as the barley moon and the white moon, reflecting ripening of these various crops. We do have a full moon when the sun and moon are considered in opposition astrologically, and this means that both the sun and moon are in opposing signs, and at the time of this particular full moon, the sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Pisces, exactly opposite the sun on September 7th at 11:09 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, as I mentioned. And it's a time to focus on the essentials in your life. It's a time to pay special attention to the thought patterns that you allow to take hold within your mind, especially if they trigger doubts and fears. Consciously avoid stress and arguments. Treat yourselves to long moments of silence. And that is very, very helpful. The Piscean energy does bring more intuitive knowledge and sensitivity, so it's truly a good time to clear and release anything that doesn't serve you anymore. It's time to reconnect spiritually, and doing so in such ways as meditation, journaling, soul searching, all of that. And it's also a time to embrace your own creativity and focus on your inner healing. Very, very important. Aspect-wise, there's so much going on. It took me a long time to even figure it all out. First of all, this is a lunar eclipse, and thus it's a time of more intensity than usual, especially with relationships. And it may feel as though it's a time to handle a potential crisis, which may cause a relationship to end. But similarly, with good communication, it may also assist in bringing people together. So if you find the balance between the spiritual Pisces and the practical Virgo energy, you can remember that the eclipse may also magnify issues, and that will settle with time. Leading up to this full moon eclipse, we see Saturn returning to Pisces on September 1st. And that helps us to let go of that which doesn't serve us anymore. So that's part of the letting go that this full moon is even bringing in. Also, the yod that I talked about at the new moon with Pluto and Saturn, it's between Pluto and Saturn and Neptune, and that's on September 3rd, does make it a little bit difficult to make sense of things. So it's a time to stay grounded as much as possible. Then on September 5th, just a couple days before the actual full moon, we see positive aspects between Mars and Jupiter, which favors artistic work and heartfelt wishes for others. So you see how it's up and down, up and down. It's really kind of amazing. And then after the full moon on the 7th, the Sun and Mercury meet in Virgo on September 13th. And this is a good time to catch up on things you've been putting off and tidying things up. This is both inner and in your homes and places of business and everything. Do allow others to agree to disagree when necessary. And on September 16th, Venus sextiles Mars, which actually, because sextiles are positive, it does aid in clarifying those relationship issues I was talking about earlier. Then September 17th through the 19th, there are several oppositions as well as trines that cause for caution and diplomatic discussions. And that's just before the new moon, which is on September 21st. And there are other aspects that may also affect relationships in new ways and with new ideas. And be aware of this as we move forward. But I will be telling you more about that when I do the next new moon video. Now, we are in the last part of the season of Lughnasadh, which began on August 1st, and where we were more focused on the beginning of the harvest season. And we're now moving towards the season of autumn, the end of the harvest season, where the day and night are equally balanced, similar to how they were at the spring equinox, but now the light wanes by day and darkness lasts longer. So we have less light during the day and more. So this is like the last of the full, balanced light. And now, as a result of that, it's time to start looking towards winter and preparing for the future. It's a time for Thanksgiving for the fruits that are reaped and the goodness of the earth and all that we've gained in over the summers, the spring and summer seasons. And it's a good time to reflect upon the life that is to come. Now, the the traditional Celtic tree calendar based upon the moon cycles, with the new year beginning at Samhain on October 31st, has the tree for this period, this September moon cycle. It's sort of the August-September because the new moon was at the end of August, as ivy, which I mentioned at the new moon. And this is the sign, this is the card, ivy, okay? And this is from the Celtic Tree Oracle, right here, which is also the same as Ogam. That's another name for it in Irish, Om, they pronounce it. But that's the whole Celtic Tree Oracle. And this is ivy. And as I mentioned at the new moon, ivy is associated with growth and a search for self. So it's walking the labyrinth of your own inner soul as you spiral to higher levels of your soul. And ivy promises growth, resurrection, and renewal. So in some ways that is pretty much in alignment with what I was saying we need to focus on at this new moon. So it's actually a nice message here. And now my other card pulls. I'm going to pull from this Druid Animal Oracle deck here. Druid Animal Oracle deck that has beautiful, beautiful British animals. Familiar with them often in America, but there's a few that are more British than here. And I love this deck. It's the one I use for most of my my readings that I do, both on phone, in person, on Zoom, all that. And I love it because of the depth of the message. And the card for this period, according to the Druid Animal Oracle, is the raven. Okay, beautiful, beautiful raven. Now, ravens are very sacred birds. They are connected with our ancestors. So a part of the message of this card is to remember that your ancestors are always with you and helping you and guiding you. But the raven also stands for an initiation process. So some of those trials and tribulations I was talking about, some of that inner work I was talking about, some of the challenges that we may face as we go forward is sort of summarized in this card by recognizing that what this is doing is leading us to a whole new state of consciousness. We need to take everything that we're going through, do our inner work, solve our problems, learn what we need to do, gain in wisdom. Ravens are also very wise. So we gain in our wisdom, and then we can initiate to a whole new state of being. So that's a part of what this is about, okay? So Raven, very, very cool to keep in mind. Now, from this Druidcraft Tarot, I do my daily card pulls with this deck. Beautiful deck by the same author, same artist. So very also deep messages in their own ways, but very much in alignment with typical tarot. So Druidcraft Tarot deck, and let's see what we have here. We get the Hermit. Now, interestingly, the Hermit basically what the Hermit is doing is saying it's time to go within and look at things. It's time to go into your spirituality, which we talked about earlier. It's listening to your own inner calls inside, your inner intuitions, your inner, depths. And it's time to just withdraw from everything and refresh yourself. And a lot of times when we take time to do that, when we're just taking time for us, when we're taking time to go within ourselves and look at those things, we're actually moving to a whole new level which is similar to raising to this new consciousness, right? The initiation process. So the Hermit's saying, take time for you. Don't stay doing all the busy stuff. Go within as much as you need to. And as you do that, you're refreshing your soul so that you can come out renewed. So very similar message to the Raven. Very interesting. Now this Whispering Woods deck, which is the trees, the message from the trees. And we get humility. Now that's a really beautiful card. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. So this is like remembering that we can stay humble. We can, recognize the beauty within ourselves, beauty within our souls. We can allow it to shine out. But if we do so from humility, we're actually owning it within ourselves without being a show off. You know what I mean? So in some ways, it's just a wonderful way to say, be you. Really, be you, but humbly be you in alignment with the guidance that you get, as I talked about with those other two cards, okay? Now this new Sedona Spirit Wind deck that I say new, but I've had it for a while now, and it's actually a beautiful deck. And I love it because Sedona itself is so beautiful. And this is, most of the places around here are considered fairly sacred. So I love the messages of these cards for that reason. Beautiful card. White Buffalo Woman. Wow. This is beautiful. And somehow it feels like it's in alignment with this full moon in many ways, okay? And she says, I am unified with Source beyond the temporal veil. So what this is going to that inner knowing, going to your relationship with God, Goddess, with Spirit. Get your knowings, get your understandings from that. And as you do that, because we are all unified in Source, then we can apply that in our worlds, and that will help us with all of the things that we need to look at within ourselves. So beautiful, it's like a blessing, honestly. So this is a beautiful card. What an incredible card. I love that. Okay, and now the Light Bearers deck, which is this Light Bearers deck here. It's basically angel guidance cards. It's angels that are coming in at this time to help us to awaken in all of humanity, to awaken all of humanity. And a lot of us are here for that reason. So let's see what angel comes up for us at this time. Angel Sophia. To love and appreciate yourself is one of the greatest gifts you will ever experience. Heaven knows your value and each day sings a song of appreciation for you in all you do. Now, is that in alignment with humility or what? That's like amazing. So, to love and appreciate yourself is one of the greatest gifts you will ever experience. Heaven knows your value and each day sings a song of appreciation for you in all you do. Look at her blooming. Beautiful, beautiful. That's great. Okay, so I want you to take all of this into your heart and remember it. I'll be back, for the new moon, which will be on September 21st, like just right around the same time as Autumn Equinox, and I'll tell you a lot more then. And in the meantime, if you would like to have a psychic soul reading or counseling session in person, by phone, or Zoom, I am at Crystal Magic Psychic Center, mostly on Monday afternoons and Friday mornings. You can contact us at crystalmagicpsychiccenter.com to find out more and to book an appointment. And like I said, I do them in person. I do walk-ins if you just happen to come in if I'm available. If you book it, then I'll be available for the amount of time you want and when you want. So that's actually best. And I do want to wish you blessings of this full moon to you. And remember, you are always loved.